Cheers.
Plnty podcast episode, Chantal Cohen.
Love it.
Thank you for being here. We've got lots to discuss. We're talking mother to mother, and we're talking yoga teacher to yoga student. We're talking about the nervous system, movement, how to be the mom that you really want to be without losing the woman that you are. Let me dive straight in. What type of mother did you expect to be, and what type of mother would you say you are now, 3 years in?
Interesting. Fundamentally, I try as often as possible to exist as much in my felt experience rather than in my conceptual framework. If I'm going to try reflect back 4.5 years on the mother that I thought I want to be or would be, maybe there's a part of me that thought because I have all of these tools and techniques and all the education and knowledge, that I would do it all perfectly and I would be this cool, calm, collected parent, which all my teaching teaches me isn't a truth anyway, right? Like, it doesn't exist.
No.
The goal is not to be cool, calm, and collected all the time or to do it perfectly.
How would you even?
Well, and actually, by definition, robust, rich relationship, especially with our children, is not built in the cool, calm, collected, easy moments. It's built in the imperfect moments when you end up losing it, and it's actually built in how you repair.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be like the starkest difference for me. I raise my voice sometimes and I lose my shit sometimes, and I come back and I apologize and I own it and I talk about it. And I think that's the kind of mother that I am now, is a very honest one. I'm not putting on a show for her. I'm doing the best that I can do with the tools that I have, which does allow me to stay connected more often than not. But in the moments where I'm not able to stay connected, I can come back and do repair.
So you have other tools that then help you build the bridge again.
Most adult relationships' biggest work is how to come back together, and we can show our children how to do that from a very young age.
That's really good. An honest mother and somebody who
is allowed to be imperfect.
And who realized once she stepped into the experience that it was going to be quite different to maybe the reality of it.
Sure.
Life changes significantly when you have a baby, whether it's your ambitions, your work, the way you see yourself, how you've structured your time, your relationship with your partner. What were the biggest changes that you appreciate and are grateful for, that have helped you build a life that you truly love?
It was as if when I found out I was pregnant, my tolerance for being in an environment that doesn't serve me reduced to almost nothing.
Wow.
So my priorities radically shifted in what I was willing to tolerate and not tolerate. And that is inevitably the spark that caused me to be where I am today in my own space. I think I was in an environment that wasn't serving me, and it just wasn't in alignment with my highest value system anymore. And I felt like I was abandoning myself every single day. And as my pregnancy progressed, that abandoning of myself, and I still continue to do it when Vita was born for a period of time, my willingness to tolerate bullshit that I didn't need to tolerate went to zero.
It's natural instinct. It's animal behavior in us, right?
Well, your environment plays a massive role in your ability to show up for yourself and therefore be present to others. And not everybody has the luxury and the privilege to alter their environment.
Sure.
And I was in a position where I was able to actually say, hey, what I'm doing right now is making me be a really shit version of myself, because I'm abandoning myself for multiple hours of a day. And then I come home and I'm filled with resentment, so I snap a lot quicker, or I have less tolerance for Vita's crying because she was a baby, or Dylan, or whatever it is. I was able to extract myself from that environment, and that inevitably caused me to pivot and need to do something else.
I would say more than half of my closest friends are parents, and seeing similar tendencies to not wanting to be compromising on the wrong things because you want to keep the integrity for your family, for
Totally.
yourself,
Yeah.
life suddenly feels so much more precious. And why would you be wasting it? Like you were saying, I'm sacrificing hours of my day and I come back home and then I'm an even shittier version, you know?
Totally.
So it's not worth it. That's amazing. Okay, so you took action and now you're in your own space and you're your own boss,
Yes.
which is mucho impressive.
Yes.
I love your studio and I love
you.
what you've built.
Thank you.
And I love that you did it for the right reasons and you execute it in a way that is true to you, who you are, how you want to create things and not copy paste. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like I just said, I observed this with many of my friends that want to do something else but don't necessarily maybe take the step.
Sure.
Can you explain to me and to everybody listening what happens to our nervous system? Are there changes that happen to our nervous system when we become mothers, when we become parents?
Sure.
And what does that do potentially to our decision making or to the way we go through the world?
Yeah, I guess to start out by just giving a general yet very important nugget of information about the nervous system is it's the one thing that unites all billions of us in the world is that we are a nervous system and we are governed by our nervous system. But it is also the thing that makes what are we at? 8 billion people in the world right now different is the nervous system is a perception-based system. And not
What
only...
does that mean?
Right, so we are living life based on our perceptions, meaning that through our lived experiences from in utero up until this exact moment that we're walking together here right now, how you perceive this moment is vastly different to how I'm perceiving this moment. And that goes for every moment in the world in all 8 billion
This is
people.
mind-blowing, actually.
So there's no such thing as immaculate perception. So what happens to your nervous system when you have a child? The entire development of your little one's nervous system is completely based on your own nervous system.
Like a mirror.
Yes, you are priming their nervous system to engage in all the different moments in the way that you engage in them. So what happens to your nervous system is it innately becomes aware that there is another nervous system that is mirroring, off of yours.
That's so intelligent.
It is intelligent, and we can either perpetuate all the ways, or if there are things that you've become aware of as the adult that you are with this new child that haven't really served you, you can use your child to reframe your perceptions in all these different moments in your nervous system, therefore building a new pathway in your child's nervous system, if that made sense.
Totally. But can I repeat it in my own words?
Sure,
So that
absolutely.
in a way, it's an ability for us to undo or change things in ourselves and in the way that we react to things based on the fact that we don't want to pass on our pre-programming to our kids.
Yeah, so I don't love the change sort of framework because what we resist is going to persist, and actually change can only ever happen if you're willing to go into what you're trying to change on a very scientific physiological level.
Yeah.
Energy doesn't get destroyed, so it changes form. It can either be really fluid and movable, or it can be really stagnant and sticky and thick and stale. So let's say you have a really low tolerance for sadness, okay? And you're aware of that now in your own body. When your child shows up in sadness, your work is not to get out of the sadness, it's actually to feel the sadness within your own nervous system.
Oh, wow.
And that is what models for the child, it is safe, it is okay to be sad. So you're not in a way undoing or changing, you are reestablishing your perception to a moment of sadness.
Yeah.
As maybe in the past it was, ooh, this is not safe to go there, because you were never modeled safety in that quality of moment. You now are for yourself as the adult modeling, okay, I'm sad, this is very uncomfortable, but I'm gonna stay so my child can stay and learn that it's okay to stay and experience this, because the moment we try to get out of any surge of energy in the body, it's going to just come back again and again and again in many different ways, in many different circumstances, until we have the tools and the tolerance to stay with it. And on a physiological level, a surge of energy, I'm saying surge of energy, it's an emotion. Right? We are human because we experience emotions. It's what paints the picture of our life. Physiologically, an emotion only lasts about 90 seconds.
Wow.
But most of us have such low tolerance for the screaming or the crying
We want
that
to shut
after
it down.
10 seconds we're trying to shut it down.
Oh.
90 seconds within, but the thing is you have to, as the adult, feel it in yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's making you feel it in yourself.
You're not just observing the child.
Right, you are
Okay.
experiencing it in your own nervous system.
Okay.
And then your willingness to stay in it and doing what you need to do to stay in it, like deep breaths, rub your hands together.
Now hold on, that's important.
Yeah.
Because that's what most of us can't do.
Yes.
Okay, so what are tools that everybody, doesn't matter if you're practicing yoga or
Yeah.
if you're into any of what you've just
Sure.
said, but let's say you have a, you know, it resonates with you what you've just said. You're listening to this and you're like, we're in the supermarket. Every time we're in the supermarket, my child starts to scream and throw themselves on the floor and wants things.
Wants everything.
What
So
do I
fun.
do right now?
Don't take her to the supermarket. No, I'm joking. I always feel so lame when I say these tools because they are so
Easy.
simple.
I know.
Not easy, simple.
I
Not
mean-
necessarily like easy to invoke in the moment. It's much easier if your MO is to scream and raise your voice.
Yeah.
That's going to be much easier. So these tools aren't easy, but they're very simple.
Okay.
They're first and foremost breathe. For however old your child is, take that many breaths before you open your mouth. So if your
Okay.
child is 3 and they're screaming for the
Dear life.
cheese sticks,
Yeah.
stop and take 3 breaths.
Cool.
You might, if your environment is like overwhelming you, you might for like a second close your eyes, but actually what also helps for some people more than that
Yeah.
is orienting out.
Okay.
So when we get dysregulated, our vision can get very zoomed in. So it's like a stop, like actually look around your environment and then redirect your attention to what's in front of you.
Okay.
I do a lot of body contact. That's my personal favorite one. So I'll rub my hands together or I'll palpate my arms. I'll squeeze my arms or make fists with my hands and release them.
We need to give people things to remember in that moment because this is a split second of going, what's my modus operandi or what could I
Totally.
do differently? So that's why I love this level of detail.
So breath, using your eyes to orient, whether
Yeah.
you're closing them or looking.
Yeah.
Body contact.
Okay.
And then name it to tame it. And this is so powerful because you are also helping your child
Name it.
reconcile what
Okay.
is eventually they'll learn through you doing it that they can name.
Yeah.
But you're teaching your child the experience verbally. Vida, I am really frustrated right now.
You name your own emotion.
Yes, I am frustrated. 3 breaths, like rub my hands together.
Yeah.
And then the real nugget is all of that's maybe going to take you 25 seconds, right?
Yeah.
You still got another minute.
Wow, you're gonna bridge that.
Yeah, you keep doing it. You breathe
Okay.
and you access.
You repeat.
You access a sense of okayness in the discomfort of your child because a low tolerance for discomfort is not the goal here. We
No.
don't want to strip our children of all the discomfort. We want to teach them
How
to
to-
tolerate it.
Yeah.
And so I would be doing a huge disservice to Vida if today I'd already told her we're going to the shops and you can pick one thing. Let's say she's already picked the one thing. Now
So pick
she's
another
asking
one.
for the
Yeah.
cheese sticks with the kiri sticks, the dip in the cheese. I said, but baby, you already picked this and you've opened it. And now she starts.
Yeah.
I would be doing her a massive disservice by opening that fridge and giving her the cheese sticks.
Totally.
A massive disservice.
Yes. Because it shows if I only act in a certain way, I ultimately get what I want because my mom doesn't want me to act in this way that makes her frustrated.
Even more nuanced than that. Forget about me. It's teaching her discomfort is intolerable.
So we fix it.
So I'm going to do whatever I can to get out of this experience. It's my job to
Sure.
tolerate it within myself.
Yeah.
So she can learn how to tolerate it. And more often than not, you will find that it dispels fairly quickly.
No, it does. I mean,
90 seconds is short, but it can feel like a lifetime when
Of
you're
course.
in it. It can feel
Especially-
like
yeah.
90,000 minutes.
but okay. But these are great tools.
They
Yes.
are breath,
Yeah.
name it to tame it,
Body contact.
body contact, orient out. I like to, and Dylan always makes fun of me, I sigh a lot. I use my voice. Is a very, more often than not, when people see me do that, they look at me and smile. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, thank you so much for seeing me right
Literally,
now."
literally.
One more thing on top of that, it's very easy conceptually talking about this. Your child's having a tantrum on the spot, breathe,
Do
rub
this.
your hands
Yeah.
together, say, Vida, I'm so frustrated right
Yeah.
now. An important thing I didn't say is get down on their level. When we're towering over our children, it's very scary for them. Get down on their level.
Yeah.
In order for you to invoke all of these on-the-spot tools, you have to be doing a little bit of off-the-spot training. And there is no prescription. It is just, are you taking care of yourself a little bit every day? so that you have that feeling of I am connected to myself that you can quickly invoke when the moment in front of you starts to get very challenging.
Got you.
You cannot expect to be able to do that if you are spending day after day after day, week into month, not doing anything that connects you to yourself. What could that look like for you? For me, it's cooking. I need to be in my kitchen cooking dinner 3 times a week.
Yep.
Getting on my yoga mat twice a week. Now that we're walking right now, I forgot how wonderful and lovely this is. Like maybe you pick something and
That's
it could
doable.
be 15 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, whatever it is, because how can you expect to call on those tools to stay connected when you're not doing anything at all that allows you to connect to yourself?
Another very important point I wanted to talk to you about, and that is the woman inside of the mother. You are a person, then you step into parenthood. How did you blend Chantal the woman and Chantal the mother into a version that you really enjoy? I mean, do you enjoy your...
Yes, for the most part.
How did you do that?
Every time we experience change, whether it's for the good or bad, we experience grief. I am willing to experience the sadness, the grief, the anger, the bargaining, whatever it is. I'm willing to experience that. It's mostly sadness and anger. So 2 things can exist, right? I can hold multiple perspectives at the same time.
Sure.
I can miss and mourn my life before my daughter was born.
Yeah.
Whilst also be very grateful for her being in my life. And I think when we do not allow ourselves to have that experience, there is this conflict of perceptions of self that are bumping up against each other and can make us miserable.
It's literally why I asked the question.
For me, and I can openly admit this without shame, there are moments and parts of me that I miss before Vita was born. Like, I do. And I'm immensely grateful for having her in my life.
Yeah.
So,
and what is an example of something that is gone and that can't be coming back?
yeah, I am never, ever going to be able to just think about only myself.
True.
Like,
No.
there's never a moment in time that I am now not thinking about her. So it's like a mental relief, if you will.
Yes. Switching off, basically, from having to care for somebody else.
Whilst also incredibly grateful to have this young person whose responsibility is mine to shape and give her the opportunity to also shape herself in this world. Yeah. 2 things can exist, and I can also feel sometimes deeply resentful for that responsibility.
Yeah.
Because it's
a lot. Yeah.
And I also think you must evaluate if your identity pre-child and now post-child, always examine, is your perception of self yours?
Yeah.
Or is it something that you've been conditioned to believe you have to, should be, behave, look like? Because the idea of self, by the nature of our constantly changing and evolving world, means that self evolves and shifts and is dynamic.
Yes.
When we cling onto one idea of self, it creates struggle within. So this idea that I was this person before and I am this person now, for me, I don't really buy into that. I am who I am right now.
Yeah.
And I will be a different version of myself in a year because of my lived experiences and my willingness to be with my environment in an ever-evolving, dynamic way.
There's something to be said about, we often introduce ourselves and the first thing people say is what they do.
Sure. Yes.
This is my job.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy anchor for yourself and for others to place you stepping into motherhood. I never returned to the job I had before. Yeah. And that was very healthy for me.
Totally.
I'm actually so grateful for that.
I remember having a conversation with you when you were pregnant and you were like, oh, I'm definitely going back to work. Yeah. And I remember being like, you'll see.
Let's see.
You'll
exactly.
See.
And I saw.
You'll see either way.
Yes.
You know, you were just like steadfast and this is what I'm doing. And I was like, okay. I'd already had Vita, so I had a little bit more insight.
You had a year ahead of me.
Yeah. It's needing to identify ourselves in these certain ways, right? I can place myself in this box, and in this box is safe. And we need, don't get me wrong, we can't have boundaryless living. We need boundaries. We need to be able to place ourselves within our own value system. Most people
Absolutely.
can't choose work that is within their highest values, right? They're choosing work that helps them to fucking survive.
Yes. And feed themselves and their families.
100%. I consider myself very lucky to be able to engage in work that is my life's work, essentially, in my highest value system. And even within that, I will say that there are moments where I wish I didn't have to go to work, if you will. So again, multiple perspectives. Two things can be true. We are not just one or the other. We don't have to just be grateful. We are allowed to hold gratitude and sadness at the same time. And I think that's the wholeness of existing as a mother, is existing in this multifaceted way of being that isn't linear, because we are raising a child that is experiencing so much. So we, if we want to, essentially need to be willing to experience that with them.
Yes. That's what people say, the phrase, I feel cracked wide open. I hear people say that all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's actually such a beautiful thing. It's like almost something stepping out of a shell, or something emerging that you had maybe buried or didn't know existed.
There's a lot of focus on this for the mothers, and I think fairly so. We go through it physically, hormonally. We are more often than not the default primary caregiver.
Yeah.
And also fathers go through this. If they are willing to, they also get cracked wide open.
Wide open.
And that is creating a generation of way more involved fatherhood.
Yeah.
And that's so wonderful to see.
Totally.
And I think they often feel really disregarded in the process.
Yeah.
So just a little shout out there. Dads in general that are doing it, that are willing to
Step into it.
do
And
this.
Speaking of dad's experiences, I think there's a lot of room to give them more space and actually for us to talk about it.
Just to share just a little bit on a personal level, a lot of my work right now with my husband is he wants to feel that when the three of us are together, I give him more authority. He feels like I take over. When the three of us are, it's a different dynamic when you're just with mom, you're just with dad, and then the family dynamic is different. He asked me, can you please back off a little and let me, give me an opportunity to show Vida that I also have and I was like, thanks so much for bringing that to my attention. I didn't realize I was taking over at every moment. What a wonderful gift for her to be able to experience that her father can also step in and take the lead.
It doesn't default on you, and he accepts that to be.
Totally. Actually, I'm perpetuating the default onto me because I keep doing it.
I wanted to speak to you about movement, and I think you have a lot of thoughts that are valuable for many future moms, current moms. There seems to be a very big perception that there is a need to exercise in a certain way throughout pregnancy, afterwards when it's considered safe to go back to working out. What are your honest thoughts?
Well, let's stop pressuring women with bounce back culture, firstly.
Amen.
It's old.
Outdated.
Let's stop.
What is that even?
What is bounce back culture? Why are we still using that language? There is so much more valuable work that you are being gifted the opportunity to step into as a new mother than getting back to some ideal aesthetic that is being imposed to us by media and marketing, and there's so much more to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
completely. Okay, bounce back.
How can we reframe bounce back culture to start feeling back into your new body? Your body is never going to be the same, physiologically speaking, and how wonderful
Even
is
your
that?
DNA has changed.
How wonderful is that?
Great.
Again, there's the grief, right? If we're not going to let ourselves grieve our old body, how are we going to be willing to accept our new body, therefore let go this idea of needing to get back to? There's nothing to get back to. And that's not to say that you don't deserve to feel good in your body. Maybe how you look plays a role in how you feel good. I would offer you to get curious about that. That's truthful for you, or imposed conditioning. How can you move in a way that nourishes your body? Now that there's no blanket statement, because everybody is nourished very differently by movement. But your nervous system, it sits in your body. So the more stagnant and stale your body becomes, the more stagnant and stale this line of energy and information flow becomes. So movement is movement is movement. I don't really like to buy into superior and non-superior movement. I think there are ways that you can move that are safer than others. Move in a way that nourishes you. What is movement if you're forcing yourself to do it? Whatever it is that you can do to take a couple breaths and move your body, whether that's 5 minutes, 15, 55 minutes, will do a world of difference for you.
Movement is...
It's essential because your nervous system is sitting in your spinal column, and therefore the more stagnant you are physically, the more stagnant everything, oxygen and blood flow and energy and information flow in your body.
You've given birth a couple of weeks ago and you feel like this is the first time I'm going to go out for a very gentle walk.
Sure.
I remember that personally, the first walk I went on was about 2 weeks after birth. We took the dogs, and yes, I wasn't walking at my usual speed.
Sure.
It's not important, but I remember feeling like, there she is. I've taken my baby, and I felt so proud of my body for having done all the big things.
Totally.
And me being able to move slowly, sure, tender. But you move through that, literally. Movement was one of the tools that just helped me even feel not stuck in my new experience.
Which is why the old school way of doing it in village, in community, the doula's traditional role was, yes, to help you during the birth, but actually the doula was meant to be there for you in the 2 weeks after, massaging you and bringing you food and all that sort of stuff. So yes, doing things that within reason can support you in bringing some movement back into your body. Another thing that's also important that I think a lot of women maybe don't know, don't realize, is pregnancy in and of itself is obviously going to strip so many of your nutrients. If you're going to breastfeed and breastfeed for a prolonged period of time, it's going to strip even more nutrients, but specifically calcium from your bones. So one of the best things, especially for women, like osteoarthritis, it doesn't have to happen in old age. It's happening because we are not loading our bones enough, therefore creating bone density in our bones. Women that have had multiple pregnancies, multiple breastfeeding, need to be loading their bones. And so movement is the only way to do that. Especially movement that gets your hands on the ground. It's the most powerful way to wake up your core matrix, which wakes up something called Wolff's Law, which makes your bones increase in density. So any movement that puts your hands on the ground.
Amazing. One more overarching theme that I found is big in motherhood is community. And I wanted to hear what your thoughts are on what that can look like, what that means for you, what you had, maybe what you didn't have.
Firstly, community is a fundamental human need. It's one of the basic things we need in order to feel safe in this world, is our tribe. Now, I think there's a big misconception that your community needs to be grandiose. We need 2 to 3 people in our life that we can rely on. If you have community available to you, let go of any guilt or shame around reaching out for support, for help. I think that's something that we're often create that in our own heads, right? I don't want to burden this person, but most people more often than not are so willing to receive that and be that ear. I think social media is one of our worst enemies, and it's also a great tool if used mindfully. And you can join the WhatsApp groups, you can join the particular groups or pages on Instagram that just help to make you feel like you're not alone. That's where it does become a really powerful tool, is you see a video of a mom on Instagram and you can relate and know you're not alone in it. I mean, that's why like memes and stuff are so funny, right? Because they're all relatable.
This is me.
Hilarious.
Of course.
And just, I would say don't be scared to just lean on the people that you have.
That you feel safe with.
And be open to welcoming new people in. I have this group of 6 moms that I didn't know. I knew one of them before pregnancy, and they are like a saving grace for me. We meet up once a month. We've got a WhatsApp group where we're all talking every day.
Oh, cute.
And it's just this safety net that you can send this message on the WhatsApp group or a voice note about your child having a tantrum in the spa and whatever, and
I didn't
know
rub my
that
hands.
Everybody will just and I didn't rub my hands. I fucking screamed at her. I said,
no
Gina,
cheese
stop! Forever. And it can land somewhere that is non-judgmental. That is spacious. And if you're lucky enough to have family around you, and your family are people that you feel safe with and can trust, lean on them. I mean, I have a lot of family around me, and I feel incredibly grateful to have that. And I know how lucky I am to have it. It makes my job as a mother that much easier or more easeful. And I think be open to meeting new, because as your child gets older and starts to go to school, and you'll actually end up meeting so many amazing women and parents, and It's a whole new world of
Mom
community.
friends.
Yeah, it's what a vibe.
Yeah.
My non-mom friends, when I sit and I listen to Olivia's stories, I'm like, oh my God, I'm living vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Like, this is, so like just to name that, I think you might have community that is rooted in motherhood. And also my best friend isn't a mother, and she is just as nourishing for me as any of my mother friends. So
Same here.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best. You know what? I've learned a lot, and I've known you for a long time, so I can only imagine what people will feel like that listen and watch this. Thank you so much for being so generous.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
With your time. You are seriously a pillar and rock of a mother, a business owner, a just deeply rooted person. I am so grateful to have you in my life.
Thank you. Back at you.
Okay.
We're gonna hug it out here.
Bye.